So we're gonna get started on the cupcakes. I'm just making a basic vanilla cupcake. If you want to here, you could totally do this with boxed cake. That would be perfect. But I'm gonna show you a simple recipe for that. So in my stand mixer here, I've got half a cup of butter and 3/4 of a cup of sugar. Now I've creamed that together. And when we say cream, basically that means beating it together until it's a little light and fluffy. What's happening there is the butter and the sugar are kind of creating little bubbles and holding in air, which is gonna give you a nice fluffy cake. If you're doing a oil-based cake, you don't need to cream it because the oil's gonna keep things moist. It's gonna be a little bit more dense though. So into there, we're gonna go in with eggs. I'm going in with 2 eggs and I wanna add them one at a time and blend them after each addition. Because we have butter and because there's the sugar in there and everything like that, eggs actually have a lot of, obviously, water in them, so they don't necessarily want to be friends with the butter. It's almost like making a salad dressing. They don't want to get along, so we need to emulsify it. So by beating it together one at a time gives it more of a chance for the egg to actually get mixed in. Gonna go in with my second egg as well. Perfect. Now, while that is coming together and getting nice and creamy, I'm gonna move on to the dry ingredients. So this only makes 12 cupcakes. You could easily double this if you want to. But for the dry ingredients, we're gonna go in with 1 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour. And when you're doing a cake and you're creaming things together, you always want to mix kind of the wet ingredients and the dry ingredients and the fat ingredients separately and then bring them together. I'll show you what I mean in a second. So 1 1/4 cups of that all-purpose flour. Gonna go in with 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Can you tell the difference between baking powder and baking soda?
Sometimes I can't.
One is shiny. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I find one sticks together more too.
Oh yeah, baking soda?
Baking soda.
100%. I feel like it's because it's like, I want to be in your fridge. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I want to be like that guy doing its thing. All right, gonna go in with 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda as well. That's gonna give it a real puff up, which is gonna be fantastic. Then I'm gonna go in with about 1/2 teaspoon of salt just to counteract the sugar in there. So give that a mix too. Then for the additional wet ingredients, I've got 1/2 cup of buttermilk here. Now, I know I love a buttermilk.
I love buttermilk.
Yeah.
Underrated.
It is. Yeah. Now, if you don't have buttermilk, you can always do the mixture of milk and a little bit of lemon juice or a little vinegar. But you could also do a little bit of milk and stir in a little yogurt. That'll acidify it as well, give it that kind of thicker texture as well. Gonna go in with 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, free pouring, as per usual. That's how I like to do it. All right, and now we're gonna bring these things together. So this is a little bit different. If you've made something like a banana bread before, that's technically made using the muffin method, which is basically you take all the wet ingredients together, all the dry ingredients, and then bring them together in one go. But for this one, because we don't want these to be tough, we wanna kind of mitigate the development of gluten. So into the fat, I'm gonna go in with about 1/4 or 1/3 of these dry ingredients. I'm gonna add that in, and then I'm gonna mix that just until it's almost combined. So once it starts to come together, then we're gonna go in with 1/2 of a buttermilk mixture. The buttermilk mixture is gonna get together, it's gonna get in there. But basically what you're doing here is you're kind of delaying a lot of gluten production. So this, obviously, gluten's getting produced. Nothing's happening in here yet. So you're gonna, again, end up with a lighter cupcake. So I'm gonna go in with another 1/3 of that flour mixture. This always feels like if you don't know why you're doing it, you're like, why is this recipe trying to make me work harder?
Yeah, no, but it's good to explain it because sometimes people just throw it all in there and wonder why it didn't turn out.
Exactly, why it's a little tough. Yeah, everyone's like, that's me. But it's true, if you're doing something though that has like an oil base, you don't really have to worry about it because it stays nice and tender, but this gives you a really nice fluffy cake. All right, so I'm gonna go in with the rest of that buttermilk. Give that a mix.
I also love that your stand mixer is like giving grape jelly.
Oh,
Grape jelly.
You know?
Andrea Bucket, we don't mess around here on the good stuff.
Easter egg.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna go in with the rest of that beautiful dry mixture and give that a mix to combine. And honestly, it's as easy as that. If you wanted to, ooh, Andrea, I'm taking inspiration from that granola.
Okay.
If you want to make these fancy cupcakes, put a little bit of almond extract in there.
Oh, yeah.
No one will know. It'll just taste like really fancy vanilla
So
cake.
good. Yeah.
So good. Okay, this is looking beautiful. You do want to give this a little bit of a scrape down, though, just to make sure everything's incorporated whenever you're using a stand mixer. So give it a little bit of a mix just by hand as well, just to make sure everything's in. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna pop this into a lined muffin tin. Again, this makes 12, so that's perfect. If you wanted to, if you didn't have the liners, you could always spray it with nonstick cooking spray, but we have firm opinions about that. Right?
It's a muffin without that little frilly cup.
You need like the present to open.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get scooping this. We're gonna pop them in the oven at 325 for about 17 to 20 minutes, just until they're golden brown. They're not gonna puff that much, but that's perfect. So in my bowl, I have got half a cup of butter at room temperature. I use unsalted here because we are using classic peanut butter. Save the natural stuff for your morning toast. For these cupcakes, you need to use the like classic stuff in the tub, right?
Oh yeah.
So good.
This is for the classic peanut butter.
It's also like the natural peanut butter, which I love, is just too oily, and it kind of makes the frosting a little sloppy, and you don't want that. Now, in addition to that, to bring a little bit of tang, I've also got a quarter cup of cream cheese in here, which I love. So I'm just gonna give this a little bit of a beat to combine. Now, there's also a little bit of vanilla extract in there, just to bring everything together. In my mind, when you're making a dessert, if you're not putting vanilla extract in, it doesn't really taste like dessert.
What are you doing?
Yeah, I was like, that's not a thing. So give that a nice beat to combine. Then we're gonna go in with our sugar. So this is kind of a style of an American buttercream, mixed kind of with a cream cheese frosting. American buttercream is basically just butter and icing sugar mixed together, something like a Swiss meringue or something like that, that you use eggs or egg whites. Super tasty, way too fancy for these cupcakes, I'm not gonna lie. So we're gonna go in with a couple cups of icing sugar. I usually go in with just about 2. I don't wanna mix it too much though, because sometimes when you add icing sugar into cream cheese in particular, you know when you're making cream cheese frosting and you think more icing sugar is gonna make it stiffer? No, it makes it smoother. Like it makes it more runny rather. Because basically what's happening is the cream cheese has stabilizers in it, and that liquefies when it touches the icing sugar. So it's always gonna get more sloppy as you go. So I'm going in with 2 cups of that, a pinch of sugar just to counter, or not a pinch of sugar, pinch of salt. Thank you. You got me. We know what's up. Pinch of salt's going in. Jay's gonna ask that question later in the commercial break. And I'm gonna give that a little mix to combine. Now, if it gets a little bit stiff, you can go in with just a splash of whipping cream or coffee cream. That would be beautiful. But basically, it'll start to come together. She says, hopefully. Let's see how this goes.
When you're breathing in all that air, I love it.
This is my favorite place to stand when you're mixing icing sugar, because you just do this.
Yeah, exactly.
And it tastes like peanut butter frosting right here.
It's giving you that Romcom glow.
Yeah.
Right?
Thank you so much. Like
Yeah.
a Vaseline one. Yeah. Okay, let's give this a little bit of a scrape down, see if we're gonna come together here. Okay. You know what? Oh, salt person in the back. Do we have any cream or milk? Let's see if the old pantry has anything.
That's a room service back
What's
there.
going on over here? Oh, I'm looking at vegetables for later. We got so much going on.
I can't wait to eat this.
It looks really good.
We got it. We got cream. I'm gonna go in with just a splash of cream just to bring everything together. Looking fantastic. Pop it down. Give it a mix to combine.
It's coming. I see it now.
There we go. That's the ticket. Now, at this point, if you wanted to, you could just spread this frosting on with a spoon. That would be absolutely fantastic. But you can also do a piping bag if you're feeling a little fancy. And since these cupcakes are basically inspired by the king, Elvis Presley himself, I'm gonna go a little fancy. So I've got a piping bag over here. I'm just gonna add that right on in. It's got a really nice texture to it. This kind of tastes almost like the middle of a peanut butter cup.
Or those peanut butter balls.
Oh, the peanut butter balls that you have at like
Yeah.
Christmas time. Oh my gosh, beautiful. So I'm gonna go into a piping bag with that beautiful frosting. You could also just eat this off a spoon and tell everybody it's inspired by, what rom-com has peanut butter in it?
Probably many.
Probably many. Yeah.
More than we think.
Okay, that's looking fantastic. Now, I am using an open star tip here. I also love a French tip, but if you wanted to, you could use a closed tip. You could just use a round tip. Absolutely beautiful. But this is the thing. We've got this peanut butter frosting. We've got these vanilla cupcakes. As is, that would be fantastic. But to make these worthy of the king himself, we have to add that grape jelly. So I've got some right here. And basically what you want to do is go into your drawer, the back of your drawer, find your melon baller. If you don't have a melon baller, get a tiny little spoon. And what you want to do is make almost like a little, kind of a little hole in the center of the cupcake. And we're going to fill that with that grape jelly. That's gonna give you that little surprise, almost like a donut. Ooh, pop a little bit right on in.
Yeah.
Right?
Sweet.
Super tasty. Add that right on in. Then I'm gonna pipe that beautiful peanut butter buttercream right over top.
That looks amazing.
That looks so good.
Like, and then everybody, you did not forget, of course, about the pièce de résistance, a big old chunk of bacon. Right on there. That to me is an absolute treat. Who doesn't love a little like salty, sweet, jammy moment?
So fun.
Do you know what I like? We started off this day with a breakfast of champions, and we're ending with whatever the heck this is. Hey, Mary here. What did you think? Drop your comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more of the good stuff.